Our contentious social issues, what presidential candidates should be focusing on in this presidential election, or should they be focusing on the bigger picture, like our $15 trillion debt, our $1.33 trillion deficit, and getting the economy back on track. Gretchen Hamel is the executive director of the independent nonprofit Public Notice. Its mission is to engage Americans on today's policies. Well, Gretchen, to that point, it's 1970 all over again. We're talking about whether women, not who should pay for birth control, which was Obama's issue, right? And he wanted to have everybody pay for it. I think women should pay for it themselves. But now we're talking about whether women should even have access to birth control. How did we get here?
I have no idea how we got here, and it's kind of silly once you think about it, that we went from an issue as an American public debating whether the government had the right to tell religious institutions what their principles should be, to a debate about women and whether they should have birth control. The GOP really messed this one up. They had a winning message, they had a winning issue, and they took it and they made it about women and their right to birth control.
It's crazy, you know, and I said at the top of the show that women vote more than men do. 53% in the last election. And, you know, a vast majority of women use birth control, a vast majority of women in the workplace. I mean, like, do these people really want to maybe lose a House of Congress? What are they thinking?
Exactly. Women have been increasing and voting in larger margins more than men over the past 10 decades. They're donating more and more money to public campaigns than men are, or they're starting to donate more. And the women organizations as well. So why are you even going here? And let's even think this, Gerri. This isn't even an issue that is the top of mind for most Americans.
Oh, no.
It's about the pocketbook. It is about the economy. It is about jobs. It is about government spending, not birth control.
All right, let me take you back. Let's hearken back to when this actually was an issue. And here is George H.W. Bush on birth control. Quote, "We need to take sensationalism out of birth control so that it can no longer be used by militants who have no real knowledge of the voluntary nature of the program, but rather are using it as a political stepping stone. If family planning is anything, it's a public health matter." That was 1970. The clock is turning back, and I think it's almost like you sort of feel like, you know, are we going backward in time? Do I have to, again, start talking about these issues that I thought we had resolved years and years ago?
Yeah, and isn't it kind of a coincidence that George H.W. Bush was also defeated in an election where the economy had taken a downturn, and the whole mantra that came out of that election was, "It's the economy, stupid."
You know, I look at this, and it just sort of blows me away. You know, the issue for Obama and birth control was something different and also interesting, frankly, which is, should everybody have to pay for individual women's birth control, which I think no. You know, like this, we have access, we work, we can pay for it. And certainly, even if you don't make a lot of money or you make no money at all and you're unemployed, there are ways to get birth control out there. Birth control pills handed out by Planned Parenthood at no cost or low cost. What do you make of, you know, Obama got us into this conversation, and now it's morphed into something else entirely?
It has morphed into something else entirely, and, you know, the administration had a quick fix solution that then there was a hearing on Capitol Hill by Darrell Issa and the Government Reform Committee, which one they had was an all-male panel, which gave the opponents, or the Democrats in this case, the opportunity to hark on that, and they did. They took to the Senate floor. They had walkouts. They really blew this issue up and put the Republicans on a defense perspective, saying that this is about women's issues, when it's not. It's about religious freedom issues. Now, Republicans should have thought about this. They've kind of stepped all over themselves with the message here. They had that all-men's panel.
It's about government overreach, though, too. I mean, it's about government getting involved in something they shouldn't. We've seen a lot of that. Government has grown under Obama. The issues are obvious to me, right?
They are so obvious, but you know what? The Republicans played right into the Democrats' hands on this one. And now, why we are having this Republican primary that is playing out on social issues, President Obama is out there campaigning about his agenda and getting the economy back on track and Americans employed. So they're giving him a pass when it comes to owning the message right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Great to have you on the show. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.